internal responsibility system is an approach to health and safety, where worker and employee reps work together to make the workplace safer. It's based on the idea that those in the workplace, workers and supervisors, are the first to recognize unsafe conditions that could lead to injuries. Now, how does this system actually work? First, employer and worker reps must work together on the Joint Health and Safety Committee. This committee has a legal mandate to identify hazards and make recommendations to the employer. The employer must consider these recommendations and take every reasonable precaution to protect workers. The second component is a series of legal responsibilities for employers, workers, and supervisors. For example, the employer must keep equipment and protective devices in good condition, acquaint workers with hazards, and provide workers the necessary information so they can protect themselves. The employer must also appoint competent supervisors and provide assistance to the Joint Committee. Supervisors must advise workers of hazards and ensure safe work procedures are followed. Workers must take part in training and report unsafe conditions to the employer. Now for the third component, enforcement. The Ministry of Labor inspectors have extensive enforcement powers under the Act. Their involvement makes the internal responsibility system complete. The history of the internal responsibility system is rooted in workers' experience. In the 1960s and 70s, uranium miners of Elliott Lake, members of the United Steelworkers of America, became aware that an unusual number of workers were dying of cancer and other diseases. They knew the problem was in the workplace, but couldn't get any answers from their employer or the government. On April 18, 1974, the workers had had enough. They staged a wildcat strike which led directly to the formation of a royal commission. Dr. Ham led this commission. Ham's conclusion? Workers needed a say in matters affecting their health and safety. Ham recommended a system where well-trained workers, auditors as he called them, would advise management of unsafe conditions. And worker and management reps would work together on joint health and safety committees. Management would be responsible for making sure the system worked. The internal system would be backed up by the Ministry of Labor. Ham's recommendations led to the Occupational Health and Safety Act that we have today. Years later, the requirements of an effective internal responsibility system remain unchanged. A strong commitment from employers, the active involvement of workers, and government enforcement. When these are in place, the internal responsibility system can be effective in protecting the health and safety of workers.
Health and safety training, the right thing, the right way. With representatives in 6 locations, we're here to serve Ontario's workforce.